Hello, my name is Mbuyoti. I am a young, innovative African entrepreneur who is also country representative for Commonwealth Alliance for Young Entrepreneurs in Africa, as well as the Vice President and Acting Executive Director for Youth Entrepreneurs Association of Zambia. I am so passionate about entrepreneurship and for young people, and I'm really an advocate for creating a favorable environment for other young people and other entrepreneurs. Now, one of the major things that has been bothering me has been the cost of banking for many young entrepreneurs, and I've been wondering why most young entrepreneurs don't have bank accounts. Now, while we have the 2017-2022 financial inclusion strategy that the government has put in place, on the other hand, no one is talking about how banks are indirectly excluding SMEs and startups from banking. Why am I saying so? The cost of banking in Zambia is ridiculously high for startups and SMEs, and it indirectly excludes SMEs and startups from enjoying the benefits of serving with the banking. Now, lately, I took a little tour to about 6 different banks just to understand their cost of SME banking. Most of them, when I visited them, I didn't introduce myself, who I was and why I was asking. I personally went to different banks and asking them what is their, do they have SME accounts and how much are they? I'll list the banks I went to. I contacted Zanaco. I contacted ABSA and went to ABSA. I visited Stanbic. I visited Standard Chartered. I went to UBA Bank and I went to FNB. Now, all these banks have ridiculous prices that are stopping SMEs and startups to bank. While we preach about financial inclusion should not only be for the well-to-do people, should be for the least expected person, but banks are excluding us young entrepreneurs to open accounts with us. The minimum cost I found for a bank account was 50 kwacha. That is UBA Bank. The highest was 150 from most of the banks I visited too. I won't mention which one. Now, then the second highest from 50 kwacha was a Tamanga account by Stanbic Chart, which is 95 kwacha per month. Now, in Zambia, a lot of startups are not even making more than 10,000 kwacha per month, and one has to pay tax. One has to pay the cost of running the business. Then, on top of that, why should an SME and startup pay 150 kwacha for opening just the account, for just having the account there? And the other things, what value is an SME getting from the bank? Okay, most banks don't even lend to startups, don't even offer any value to startups and SMEs. And I'm challenging all the banks in Zambia. We as Youth Entrepreneurs Association of Zambia are open for partnerships. We're open to listen to what other banks will say, what better solutions banks can provide for startups. Okay, but if startups can't borrow money, can't get a service from the bank, why the hell should they be paying the bank for keeping our monies? This one needs a serious answer. That's the first thing, how banks are excluding startups. So most startups prefer keeping their money in Airtel and MTN money. And most startups that want to raise capital would prefer put their money in a saving group, which is village banking, because banks are excluding them from putting their money in them. If we put our money with the banks want us to pay them, when we clearly know that banks use our monies to make money. So why should we pay banks money for using our money to make their own money when we get literally nothing? I've been banking with FNB. If I can be challenged, let FNB call me today and tell me how they've improved my life. We keep putting money in the account. They keep charging us for putting the money in the account. Every transaction, even the transaction costs are ridiculously high. I challenge banks, any forward-thinking bank, that has got entrepreneurs at heart, young people at heart, to introduce startup accounts that have got zero maintenance fee. There's no difference with such kind of an account with Airtel or MTN. That's why startups and SMEs prefer to keep their money in Airtel and MTN. Because one, they're easy to create, to open. Two, the costs are not as ridiculous as banks. Okay, the highest cost to transfer about 10,000 is 100 kwacha, which is okay on the high side, but most startups don't even transfer that much. Then it's easy to access. Now with banks, on top of the pricing being high, just to open a bank account, it's hell. It's as hell as getting a loan. You know, like, why should you make the process cumbersome just to open a bank account and give you the money? With Airtel Money, I just need my NRC. I appreciate the aspect of proof of residence and XYZ, but who the hell even cares whether you need a board resolution? What I want is to keep my money with you. I provide you with my certificate of registration from PACRA and my tax clearance certificate and my proof of operation, where I'm operating from, even copies of NRCs for directors. That should be enough. We don't need to make it a fuss to open a bank account to give you business. So banks are responsible for financial exclusion in Zambia, and they have to take responsibility for this because the cost of opening accounts is too high. Banks are prioritizing people that can only put millions of kwachas in their accounts. When I visited these different banks, with the exception of a few like Zanaco, I got good reception from Zanaco, and I also went to financial EFC, Entrepreneurs in Financial Center. The reception was good there. The rest of the banks, the moment I just said, I'm here to inquire about SME accounts, I got a whole different attitude. And at UBA particularly, I was so mad because after I said I was looking for SME banking, the person that was attending to me later shifted their attention to other things, and a new client walked in. They literally stopped attending to me to start to attend to the other person. So what I'm challenging is, can banks stop this nonsense of excluding SMEs and startups from banking? Otherwise, most SMEs and startups will stick to mobile money and will stick to village banking because that's where we are getting our real value from. So hope this is a wake-up call for most banks. Once again, my name is Mbuyoti. I'm a social impact entrepreneur and a digital marketing strategist. I do consultancy as well. You can contact me on 0973-887-048 or send me an email at mbuyoti@moti-zm.com. If you want to partner with us as Youth Entrepreneurs Association of Zambia, you can send us an email at YEAZ, which is YEAZ.info@gmail.com. Thank you, and we hope to work closely with banks and creating a conducive environment for startups and SMEs in Zambia.